Do you hear that? Oh, that's the sound of silence. What's up guys, series of 11 Gauge Recordings, and I'm not going to talk about what's going on in the world right now. I think you guys are fully aware of that, and I just hope that you guys are doing what you have to do and are not doing what you're not supposed to do. I just want to take you away from all of this and hopefully make a video that is inspiring to at least one person. I wanted to make a video on how I got into this entire field of audio, and I would like to stress that in no way do I think I'm the best at what I do. I still have a lot to learn. I still do learn every day of my life, and I look up to a lot of people. I still haven't reached a lot of my goals, but I'm working on it every day. But I just want to make a video on how I reached where I am right now, because I have got a lot of questions, and a lot of people ask me this, how to get into audio and what to do and all of that, and I don't really know how to answer these questions. The only way to answer this, I think, is to tell you what I went through, and that might maybe give you a blueprint as to what you could do. So let's do this. I was born in Bangalore, but I did grow up in the Middle East. I did all of my schooling there. I was there till the 12th grade. I didn't really think much about music till about the 10th grade. I used to listen to whatever my parents were listening to. They were and still are huge listeners of Bollywood, Indian music in general. I used to listen to all of that till about the 10th grade, and then it kind of tapered off a bit. I still do listen to a bit, but I did like a lot of music from Bollywood around that time. At the start of 10th grade, I made a few friends, and some of them were really good guitarists, and I got really curious about it, and that sparked an interest in me, and I started kind of asking them questions and learning from them. Started a few guitar classes, which again didn't last very long. I don't really like it when someone gives me a structure. That didn't last very long. I kind of lost interest in actually learning the theory part of learning the instrument. I kind of learned everything by myself through the internet. We are living in the age of the internet, and I think that every one of us should make use of that and learn as much as possible every day, every moment of your life. So I started doing that, learning the guitar. Started playing with a few of my friends in school. We performed a few events in school. It was really fun, but obviously it didn't go anywhere. This went on till about the 12th grade, and at the end of 12th grade I had to kind of decide what I want to do next. I really was lost. I did not know what the next step is, and I was kind of lost, and I was discussing this with my parents, and I said that the only thing I do like doing is music, and I think I want to pursue music and maybe study the guitar further. The music field being really unpredictable and risky, they suggested that I do some kind of a degree first before getting into all of this, and if I'm still interested in music or anything else at the end of my degree, I can pursue it and they'll be fully supportive. So I didn't really have an argument to that, because I wasn't really that good at the instrument, and I was in no way like a prodigy or something like that. So I was like, cool, let's do this. And I was kind of interested in biotechnology as a subject, and I kind of enrolled in PES Institute of Technology to study engineering and biotechnology. So that's why I moved to Bangalore. I did live in the hostel during college, and as soon as college started, I was like, I need to do something related to music, because college was quite it already started getting a little overwhelming for me, because I had to do something music related. So I started searching, trying to improve my playing, learning all of my favorite songs, listening to a lot of music. After I think the second year, I joined this band called Chesra from Bangalore, and we started playing a lot of shows. We started writing a lot. We released a couple of songs. We did release one song that gained quite a bit of traction, and we worked with Adhiraj Singh from Pune. We did play quite a few shows. After that single is when we started working on our full length, and someone had to take the initiative to kind of document the writing process and make demos for the recording process and all of that. No one else was interested in the band, so I thought, I might as well do this. And I started kind of dabbling, in recording and mixing and all of that. And once I started doing that, I realized, man, this is interesting. This is fun. So obviously I had a ton of doubts, I had a ton of questions, and I had no one to ask those questions to. So I moved to the internet. I watched a ton of videos, I engulfed myself with tons of videos, started making the demos for the band. And I still didn't know where this was going at that point of time. And during the end of college, we were right about ready to kind of start recording the album. But I also had to take a decision as to what I want to do after college. By the way, during college, I actually did do my internship in Biocon too, which is one of the top companies in the field. I didn't really want to do much with that, and I wanted to do something in music. I'm like, okay, this might be what I want to do. And I even got an offer from a company. I sent a letter to them saying that, I'm not ready to take this job up. And it was kind of risky to do that, but then in hindsight, it might have been a good decision. So anyway, so then after college, I was looking out for audio institutes and trying to see what is the best way to at least learn the basics and get my basics right, so that from there I can learn further. A lot of my friends, musician friends and people who work with music, they suggested that, institutes over here are very theory oriented, and I might not get a lot out of joining an institute. So I almost gave that up. And that's when I found Audio Academy. Audio Academy is run by Niranjan Shivram. They just started at that time. They were running their first batch during that time. And he just explained the whole course structure to me, and he said that, we are very practical oriented. We have a studio, we have a console. We teach you both live sound and studio. You learn basically everything you need to know right here. At least, you have a strong base in audio. That kind of convinced me. I'm like, you have a studio available, they teach you theory, and you have the rest of the day just to meddle with all of their stuff, make mistakes, ask questions and all of that. So I'm like, okay, why not? And my parents were really supportive. They said that if you're really interested in this, you should do it. I got into the course. Parallelly, I think we even started recording the album. We went to Pune to record it with Adhiraj. Again, that kind of made my will to work in the field even stronger, working with the band, working with music every day, and it was fun. In Audio Academy, I learned quite a lot. We went for Niranjan went for a lot of shows. We as students had to set up, move subs around, carry tops, and set up the entire show. And then at the end of it all, Niranjan starts mixing, and I'm just beside him, looking at how he's approaching, EQing a guitar and mixing drums live and all of that. And I'm like, man, it's the way he's obviously one of the best in the country, and the moves he makes are so subtle, and it's kind of like working with food, right? You don't really have to make everything very obvious, but those small moves make a huge difference. And that kind of taught me a lot. I used to sit with him even in the studio, just be a fly on the wall, just watch him mixing, and I learned a lot just by doing that again and again. Continued that till the end of the course. I got my certification and in Pro Tools, and I also did my internship with a live sound company. I didn't really know how to take this forward, but I did realize that I'm not the kind of person who would take a long break to see what they want to do next in life. I just have to start doing something. So I'm like, see, there is nothing else I know how to do at this point. I love working with bands, I love working with music, so I'm like, okay, let's just buy some equipment, and I just started my studio in my bedroom, and I did a bit of basic acoustic treatment in my room, bought a bit of equipment, which I still use, by the way. The only thing that I've upgraded is software. That's kind of another thing that Audio Academy taught me, is that you don't really have to buy equipment to up your skill levels, You just need to learn every day and get better over here than, purchasing equipment every few weeks or every few months. I still try to upgrade my skills rather than buying something new. That's how 11 Gauge recording started. Started working with bands immediately as soon as I opened the studio, because I did have a lot of contacts and musician friends while I was playing with the band. I just told them, see, I have a studio, so would you like to record? I charged a very minimal fee during that time. I don't believe in working for free, but if you have to, maybe you can. I did that, and I thought, I'll do this for maybe a year or something and then see where it goes. But did that till last year, and very recently, last December, I got this place constructed and moved the entire setup here. This is the new 11 Gauge Recordings, and it's been I think around 5.5 years, still recording, mixing, mastering. Not to mention this, but I spent about 2 months at Yashraj Film Studios interning under Mr. Shantanu Hudlikar. This was around 2016 when I wanted to kind of challenge myself and learn a few more skills, and I asked Niranjan if he can send me to a studio where I can up my skills a bit more, and he had sent me to Yashraj. So I thought I had to mention this because I worked with a ton of artists over there. Warren Mendonça, Shankar Ehsaan Loy. Man, there were a lot of them. So almost every day with just great artists. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. From this video, all I wanted to say is, if you love doing something, just do it. You don't have to overthink it. In my case, I had decided from that stage onwards that this is what I want to do. So I just continued, and I'm like, I already lost 4 years in engineering. I don't want to lose any more time. So I just started the studio at that point of time and just started working with artists. I didn't kind of think, okay, how do I plan this? How do I go about this? I just started working with bands. Started doing shows because I learned both live and studio. So I started at the beginning. Obviously, there weren't many bands that I could work with, so I was doing shows also parallelly. But slowly, over a period of time, more and more bands got to know who I am and started trusting me with their material. And now it's mostly the studio stuff sprinkled in with a few shows with the bands. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. If you like doing something, just do it. And although I would say, if you have a job right now, and if you're kind of getting interested in a certain field, and you realize that you want to do something in that particular field, I think you should gain some momentum there and then decide to take drastic steps like leaving your job and all of that. Because it's not easy, this field, and the only way you can continue doing this for a long period of time is you have to be obsessed about it. You have to think of it every moment of every day. I think of audio as soon as I wake up, and I'm thinking of it even when I'm going to sleep. So there is no other way to do this. You really have to love doing this and not think about anything else. I know it's kind of crazy to say that, but that's the only way. Otherwise you will think, okay, is this the right thing for me? All of those questions come into play. Obviously those questions have come to my mind, but then the only thing that keeps me going is my obsession. That's what I would say to you guys, and hopefully this video might have inspired someone to kind of look into what they're actually interested in and look into something that they were thinking of doing but not exactly sure about. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments and below, and I'll answer them. If you haven't heard of my work, please visit my website. All details are down below, and if you want to contact me for any of my services that I provide, all information is down below. So stay safe, stay inspired, and I'll see you guys very soon.